Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So these are my thoughts on the match that happened last night that finished Chelsea 2, Servette nil. Obviously this was the Europa Conference League qualifier, first leg, got the second leg next week in Switzerland. And obviously it's the start of the season, but we really had to win this one. Didn't get off to a great start by losing to Man City, but we really needed a good response in this one. So we started off with Jorgensen in goal, which was great to see him in action this time. We had Disasti, Tosun, Badiashile and Vega as our defenders, Caicedo and Drewsbury Hall as our midfielders, with Neto and Kunku, Mudryk and Guiu as our attack. And it was exciting. There's a few players who I was really looking forward to seeing. Guiu being one. You hear a lot of good things about him. Obviously, he came from Barcelona, scored for them in the Champions League last season, did decently during pre-season, and again, as another young player. Again, Pedro Neto starting, which was a really exciting moment. But also, it was great to see players like Disasi and Badiashile properly back. So into the match itself, and we could have scored in the first few minutes. In the first, I think maybe minute or so, we go on the attack. It gets blocked off, but then it comes back. I think it's to Drewsbury Hall, gets the ball through, and all of a sudden Guiu is through on goal, takes it around the goalkeeper, and could easily have gone down. Um, I mean, look, everyone wants players to be more honest, so you can't really slate Guiu for going down. I'm sorry for not going down, but if we're being honest here, if he goes down because he got a bit of a nick from the goalkeeper, it would have been a penalty and could have got off to the perfect start. Instead, he takes it around the goalkeeper and then was never going to get there because obviously he was slightly tripped and just threw himself at the ball, which was, I mean, it is what it is. Again, another day, maybe he goes down, we get a penalty, score in the first few minutes, and we really then control the game. Other than that, the first half wasn't very good. There was one moment where Mudryk does really well, outskills about two or three players, gets a chance to shoot, and instead of going far post, for some reason just decides to try and go near post, and it's a really bad shot. And Mudryk's actually a player who I want to talk about because obviously this is another full season of his. This is his second full season, and he has so much in his game, kind of like Jackson in many ways. So much in his game that's really good. He's got pace, he can beat a player, he's got skill. But as soon as he gets into that kind of final third or also shooting opportunity, just completely forgets he's a professional footballer. I mean, he had a few moments yesterday where he did really well, beats a player, gets himself into a position and just picks the wrong pass or just a really poor shot. But anyway, other than that, it was a really poor first half. Servette, I think at one point had like 3 or 4 corners in a row. They looked more threatening as well. And you could definitely hear, annoyingly, you could hear the crowd definitely get frustrated, which is something which you don't want, especially this early on in the season. You could definitely hear kind of boos and groans, which, if I'm being honest here, that's really poor. And the crowd, the Stamford Bridge crowd, who are privileged enough to consistently go to these matches, need to start doing a better job with supporting the players, because hearing boos this early on in the season it's not acceptable, and it's quite pathetic, really. But anyway, so that was the end of the first half. Again, wasn't very good, other than 1 or 2 moments. But again, Servette aren't that good themselves, so Chelsea was slightly fortunate in that way. Anyway, into the second half, and it's a weird one because last season I think we were all used to the first 15 minutes of the second half being a nightmare. Whatever Pochettino would say at half time would just put these players to sleep and would be a really weak team coming out into the second half. Well, it was complete opposite. It was opposite when we played Man City, when we came out really strong. And again, whatever Maresca said to them at half time worked. Because in the first few minutes, we looked absolutely dominant. We then get a penalty from their goalkeeper, completely taken out in Kunku. And then he steps up and you're not saving him. It was an absolutely perfect penalty, brilliant to see. Love the whole balloon celebration as well. And yeah, it's quite, as soon as we did that, we just went up a gear. The intensity then increased, and you could just see the Chelsea players were more relaxed. The stadium felt more relaxed. All of a sudden, we got that goal. Now it's all about getting that second goal. And one player I want to talk about is Guiu. I think he's an 18-year-old. And one thing I really did like about what he did, one thing I really liked about his performance yesterday was the pressure that he would put on the opposition goalkeeper or the opposition defence when they had the ball. It really rushed their decisions, and he was rewarded with a massive opportunity yesterday when the opposition goalkeeper had the ball. He completely closed him down so that he completely scuffed the clearance. Guiu then it's an open goal. He's through on goal. There's no one there. It's an open goal, and you're just thinking, just put a bit of pace on it. Goal, done. It's done. Then we're 2-0 up and it's finished. And he just, I mean, you can see that he's desperate to score, and I don't know if he overthought it or he just froze in the moment. But like it was a scuff shot. It was a really, really bad miss as well. I mean, it was a really bad miss. Instead of just hitting it straight into the goal, he tries to hit it back to the other side where the goalkeeper was coming, and he had no power on it because it was miskicked, and then it was saved very easily. And then there was a couple more chances, but like by that time the defense had already got back, so you're just not going to score. And you're just gutted because I would have loved for him to score that goal, but unfortunately, it was an awful miss. It was a really bad miss. Hopefully he learns from that. Hopefully he improves, and hopefully next time he plays he scores. But then we had players like Enzo come on. We had Madueke come on, and I mean they basically made it. They were brilliant straight away. But one thing I do want to say is Enzo's assist, where he gets the ball, just lobs it over the top of that Servette defence, was absolutely exquisite. And then that touch and that control and the goal by Noni was incredible. And I mean, with all this extra sort of competition that we have in João Felix, with Neto, obviously in Kunku as well, he really does look like he's stepping up. And it's great to see because he's a brilliant player. He's shown, I mean, he scored some really important goals for us last season. And this was it was huge. Because it means we go to Switzerland now with a 2-0 lead. It means that there's a little less pressure as well. And I mean, it was what a finish. What a finish. But anyway, we get through the match. We're 2-0 up. We win the match. And we win the first leg. Halfway there, halfway to qualifying for the Europa Conference League, which is not a sentence I thought I'd ever say. And halfway to getting into the competition, that if we do win the Conference League now, we will be the only team in history to have won every single major European competition there's ever been. Which is, I mean, it would be an amazing achievement. Now, I think we have Wolves on Sunday, which is going to be a huge, huge game. Will we see João Felix? Will we not? I don't know. One thing I do want to say is I'm hoping Jorgensen plays. He didn't have that much to do yesterday. Jorgensen had a lot more to do than I wanted. But he looked really good, looked comfortable on the ball. Never really looked or felt rushed, which is exactly what you want in a goalkeeper. He's great with his feet, great shot stopper. For me, he has to be number one. Has to be number one. And then I would go back to Jackson. Chelsea do need to get a striker though. I'll go back to Jackson up front on Sunday, but hopefully we get a striker in the remaining 10 days left of the transfer window. But yeah, anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you all on Sunday when we've hopefully picked up our first 3 Premier League points.